This is Kugan Cassis for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. He's back.
Guess who's back?
You're an hard man to get hold of, I will say that.
Yeah, I've been around a bit.
It's still hard to get hold of.
Notting Hill today.
What's that?
Notting Hill today. Champions League tonight.
Yeah, lovely place you have here.
Yeah.
Your little getaway.
Yeah, I'm not that often here, but they still recognise me when I walk in the office.
Did I?
Yeah,
Just about.
Yeah, just about.
So,
how you been?
I'm alright, I'm good. It's a little bit slow at the minute, but I think from next week when EUBANK DeGALE kicks in, from then on, I think it's going to be pretty flat.
I haven't seen that face to face yet, but I saw a snippet of it. They're both real characters, and I think we're going to get a great fight out of that.
I think so, and we'll come on to that in a bit, but I keep reading stuff. The World Boxing Super Series is in turmoil.
Because I've been offline for a couple of months now. Yeah, all good. You know, we announcing the dates obviously at the moment. Everyone's seen the schedules move slightly, but the finals will be the same as last year, for completion in probably the end of September, maybe beginning of October. But we started the year, we started a month late. This year as well. We started, the first one was in Japan in October. Then there was a lot, there was obviously some public issues made public by certain people, some issues at the end of last year. The company who we sold the worldwide rights to, so everyone was all saying, how did you finance the TV and everything? Well, the TV was sold to a company called MP & Silva. They also look after French Open tennis, Serie A football, La Liga football in the past. And they went insolvent, so they went into the wall. So we had, overnight we had to suddenly find money, but the shareholders. So people don't understand the concept or the setup. I just work for a company called Kamosa. I'm looking after the boxing. The Kamosa company sits in Switzerland, which is two very, very big companies, stock listed companies who are the shareholders in that. That is Modern Times Group and Highlight. So Modern Times Group is one of the biggest broadcasting corporations in Europe, and Highlight is an entertainment giant, films, a lot of different sporting properties, entertainment properties. So they're the shareholders of the company. They quickly stepped up and said, look, okay, bad stuff can happen. We were expecting the money to come in, didn't come in, so they stepped up to the plate, and then everything was resolved. A few fighters got paid late, but it wasn't their purses, it was on the bonuses, the win bonuses. Which, it's, for me sitting there trying to handle the fighters is not ideal, but at the end of the day everyone got paid, so we move on, and everything looks very good for the future. Working on a very, very interesting, I know you're going to ask me, I'm going to preempt that question, very interesting broadcasting situation. So I think obviously we're super happy with DAZN in the US, amazing partners, so aggressive, and they really, really get the business as well in such a short space of time. I think they're doing a fantastic job. But watch this space, 4 or 5 weeks. You'll see some big news there as well. But first and foremost, what a semi-final lineup! I mean, whew, that's hot. That's hot.
All right, well, you've answered all my questions.
Yeah,
go home.
Go home.
All right, let me just address a couple of things. Obviously, there was a few things online, which you've just addressed there about some of the fighters being paid late, which you've just been open about and said the reasons why that was. But
we're talking about space of weeks, and we're not talking about the first. We're talking about
But they have been paid now, like
exactly. Everyone's been paid since a while now. It's not.
Can you see a situation where this could happen again, or
no? We've not. If you look at the shareholding structure, I've just tried to explain who the shareholders are. So as long as they back the project, which they publicly have done, they've invested a lot of money into it. That's a very good place to be. So we're excited. I think the boxing fans are excited. You saw the Inouye announcement last night with Rodriguez. I think if you look at, and I don't like to talk about awards, but blow your own trumpet. But on this occasion, I think if you look at, we picked up everything. From Fight of the Year, KO of the Year, Fighter of the Year, Promoter of the Year, all these things from season 1, first of season, beginning of season 2 as well. We've picked up. The tag of having the best against the best, the Champions League of boxing, and if you look at what we're doing now in the semi-finals, it continues from there. It's the best fights you see in the business. I don't think there's any other any other system which produces so many fights at that level, you know, and you can go through them. You know, already look at some of the quarterfinals. You know, when I think about Rodriguez, Maloney, you know, Dorticos, Masternak already was a war. You know, there's been some great fights already in the quarterfinals. Actually, better than season 1 if you look at it. So you look at, you know, the levels, and people are fed up of watching sport where, right, what round is this going to go? You can't put a round on a fight in the World Boxing Super Series. You know, people probably say, oh, now Inoue. Yeah, but Inoue Rodriguez is a different cup of tea. Yeah, that is that's probably, or if not, one of the best potential fights to make in any weight class at the moment. You know?
You could have a situation on possibly May the 18th where Fury and Wilder is rumoured to be going on that date as well.
Different time zones.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother us. That's the answer, isn't it?
There you go. No, I'm just
like,
saying, that's a rumoured date. That's a rumoured date.
Better occasion to be watching boxing.
Yeah.
You can watch it through the night.
There you go.
The pizza, the beers in, you know, have a big night out of it.
Big night out.
Yeah.
Big night out.
Have a big night.
Right. Bizarre situation arose 2 or 3 weeks ago where we kind of saw the situation with Baranchyk. That his team had come out and said that he wasn't going to be participating in the tournament, etc., that he pulled out, etc., etc. Literally within, I'd say, a couple of hours, you announced the fight.
Yeah. Now,
so what that day specifically, what was going on?
So first of all, when we announced the fight, the teams were informed obviously before we announced the fight. That was when they were confirmed that they were being told to go to Glasgow to fight. Now I'm not saying that preempted anything, but of course in traditional boxing, a champion to travel to the other country is not always the case. But in the World Boxing Super Series it is. Usyk fought 3 times. To win the Ali Trophy, he had to fight in Russia in the final as a Ukrainian, formerly at war with the other country. He had to fight there. He went in the semi-finals to Latvia to fight Bridis and won a very close fight. When people talk about scoring, he won in Latvia. A lot of people had Bridis winning that fight. The round before that, he went to Germany to fight Marco Huck. You know, so he fought every round away, and that's the way the tournament works. It doesn't really not respect, but it doesn't account for who's champion, who's not. Everyone who comes in that tournament is in our eyes a champion, and we have a seeding 1 to 8. That's also doesn't affect. It was top seed. He still boxes abroad. It doesn't affect where they are. They take those decisions on purely on what's best for the tournament and what's best commercially. You know, so you know, of course they're not happy about going to Glasgow. But I mean, Baranchyk is called the Beast. You know, and I don't think he has an issue in travelling at all. But I completely get. I didn't think it was the right way to go out and put out an interview without talking to us first about this. He never contacted me. There was no contact to me made before. You know, to go and do an interview on it before. You know, we didn't get any formal writing. I'm out of the tournament before the interview, so it was just a weird thing to do. But I get it because it's a negotiation tactic from a manager. And the manager's job, and Dave's a good guy. He's just doing his job. He's trying to get the best terms always for the fighter. No?
Is that the only reason? The travel issue?
No, of course you can't cite the travel issue because that's very clear in the contract. So of course there's talk about the bonus was paid late, the date's a different date. But at the end of the day, the stop date of the tournament is still very similar to the first season. But at the end, I'm not going to go too much into the contract. We're having a very good dialogue with them at the moment, and hopefully we can come to a very good solution.
Okay, so you're in a situation now whether Baranchyk, you don't know he's going to fight on that date.
No,
is that
for
fair?
us, it's contractually very clear he's going to fight.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But for fans buying tickets for that.
Yeah. Well, there's not on sale yet, but they're on sale next week.
All right. When they go on sale, will this situation be sorted out by then?
Of course it will be. Of course it will be.
I'm assuming you wouldn't go on sale with this kind of up in the air.
No, I mean, it's actually, at the moment, we're having a very good dialogue, and we're hoping it doesn't go down any other route, and we're hoping that everything is sorted. If it's not sorted, then we'll have to look into that. There'll be other people doing that.
What is the plan B to that then if he doesn't fight, if worst case scenario and he isn't to fight?
Well, the tournament has a very, very, very open substitute system, of course, which would come into effect, and then there would be obviously a separate discussion with Baranchyk's team on how we would proceed with that, you know. But at the moment, we're having a positive dialogue, so, you know.
Who would be in line?
All adds to the drama.
Who would be in line? Like the first in line to take that space?
Well, there's so many good super lightweights. I mean,
but is there one that's particularly ahead?
I mean, I looked at the rankings. I think number one at WBO is Jack Cattrall. There's a few other ones. There's a couple of cheeky ones in there as well. But I'm not looking that far because I believe that Baranchyk will fight. I believe he's in training for the fight. I believe he's in training to come to Glasgow. So you know, I think that the manager's doing his job and he's doing a very good job at it. Like I said, I think it was unfortunate that there was this interview made beforehand. Maybe it was a reflex move from being told he's going to Glasgow. I don't know. And at the end of the day, it's my job to solve those problems in the powers and means that we have in the company. You know, and that's it. So yeah.
I'm assuming again.
I mean, it'd be weird, wouldn't it? I mean, you go in and you know it's everyone knows that, you know, the money's big. You're being put on the best platform. The winner is undoubtedly the best super lightweight in the world, like we showed in season one. The winner of the tournament always has fought the best and is recognised as the best in the weight class. Callum Smith, Usyk, season one. Very clearly the best. They're both the best guys in those divisions, and that's what we set out to do. Champions League of boxing.
There's also speculation that, and again I'll say speculation that.
Big on speculation.
Yes,
today,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That Regis PROGRAIS isn't happy. Can you make any comment on his situation?
Well, once again, we will announce hopefully something later this week with PROGRAIS. I expect him to fight in America. We expect that fight to take place in April.
But is there any issues regarding PROGRAIS or not?
Well, of course, there's issues because they were originally slated also potentially to be fighting in Glasgow. They weren't too happy with that. So we've had an open dialogue with them because there's also let's say we want to promote in America, and PROGRAIS is a natural for us to promote in America. He's probably the, you know, Donaire is a big name in the States as well for sure, but PROGRAIS is a natural American and someone who we want to promote in the States. So we're looking at an April date there. But like I said, I think later this week we hopefully will announce something.
No one can question kind of.
That's a great fight as well, by the way. PROGRAIS Relic.
Absolutely.
Smashing fight.
No, I agree. No one can kind of dispute the success of the cruiserweights and also the super middleweight tournament. You had, like you said, the best fight and the best, and that's kind of completed now. I mean, moving forward now, I mean, is it just kind of business as normal that you're carrying this on, or do you kind of see further problems arising as the tournament kind of goes on?
Problems are part of boxing, and you know, it's always nice as a promoter to sit there and watch the fight in the end, but during the fight you're really thinking about other problems, and I think it's non-stop. You know, season one had a ton of problems. You know, we had all types of situations. You know, obviously the injuries with Usyk and Groves being injured at the same time. Then we had, you know, obviously the Ukrainians not exactly delighted to travel to Russia, which it was a borderline one because clearly it's a little bit different to saying I don't want to fight in another country, but it's different to saying we don't want to fight in another country which we're formally at war with. You know, that's something that, you know, we had to talk to the teams and find a good solution there. But we had all sorts, you know, and you have all sorts now, and you know, I think actually season one we had more problems than season two. But touch wood, the injury situations at the moment aren't there. But you know, when you put on this level of boxing, it's also, if you look at the fights that, you know, when you look at Usyk Breedis, is there any wonder if you look back at that fight? Is there any wonder that, you know, he didn't come out with an injury. He came out with a bad elbow injury, and had to have an operation on it. And after that sort of fight, there is naturally a wear and tear. So those are things that we have to deal with, you know. And we have that substitute system to use when needed. But it's, you know, so yeah, it's a daily process, Cook. It's a daily process. But it's no different to, I don't know if you look at Eddie's situation with Joshua at the moment. You know, I'm sure Frank has a similar situation with Fury. When you sit there with a big sporting product, and in this case it's a tournament for them. It's an individual athlete. You've got to find solutions. Every solution brings its own problems, unfortunately, and you have to work out like a jigsaw puzzle. You know, and sometimes it comes together quicker. Sometimes, you know, it takes a bit longer.
Last time out, you obviously had 2 weight classes running concurrent. This time, you have 3.
It's a third more problems.
No, but has that got anything to do with it that you're kind of you're running 3 tournaments? Don't
forget, like, the first season we had, what was it? Was it 8 weeks back to back? The quarterfinals. That was, you know, and there's certain things we are learning by doing. Yeah, and that was a hell of an 8 weeks. You know, I've never seen anything like that before. This season we said no, we'll do double headers, so it's 6 weeks, but it turned out to be 7 weeks because we had Jeddah with a final, and then we went straight on to Tokyo the week later. So it was, you know, it was Tokyo, Russia, over to the States for a couple of days, back to Glasgow, back to the States. You know, it's a huge operation.
But are you trying to do too much by doing 3 weight classes? Or no?
Never do too much. I think that fall next season.
What?
Next season. No,
are you serious?
Yeah. No, I don't. You know, well, of course, we're already thinking about season 3. You know, looking at the weight classes. I think light heavyweight's a beautiful one. There's a you know, lightweight, superflies. You know, there's a fun heavyweight tournament to be made. You know, I don't think you can get all in, so it wouldn't be best against the best, but there's a great one to make a heavyweight at the moment, you know.
But you wouldn't have the belt to heavyweight, would you? That would be the problem.
Potentially get in one belt, I see, but I don't know, is it really that important on that one? I don't know, just some cracking
regardless
fights.
of that, everyone would love to see it. I'd love to see it.
It's cracking fights, you know. Look at the likes of you know, the people who are coming through. You know, the names out there already, but the people coming through as well. You look at, I bang on a lot about Filip Hrgović. He's going to be huge. You know, Croatian kid boxing out of Miami. And you know, he's unbelievable amateur. Phenomenal fighter. Then you've got Joe Joyce, of course, who's also a great pedigree. You've got Dubois, you've got Yoka, you've got Gorman. Gorman also, you know, so you've got a lot of names coming through, and I've probably skipped half of them, but, you know, add to that, to the spice that you've got at the top at the moment, you know, when you look at your Fury, Joshua, Wilder, your Whites, you know, you've got some really good fights to make, and the other one, you know, maybe a female weight class, you know?
Oh. Wild card?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, I've been involved in female boxing for a long time. You know, with Cecilia Brækhus and Clara Svensson. It was mainly European stuff, and it was very successful. You know, it was pay-per-view stuff in the Nordics, and you know, it's just now I think Eddie's done a great job. As well, bringing it on, and I think there's some good fights and there's some good weights there as well, and it's getting more and more competitive. You always had the problem before that you had the big female stars, but to find an opponent in the old times for Cecilia Brækhus was a nightmare. You know, it was almost you needed her to lose so there'd be a rematch to make it interesting. But there was no one who could even touch her. Now you've got more depth, and that's great to see. You know, it's very good to see.
I saw some rumours as well that you're looking to take season 3 to Colombia.
To Colombia?
Yeah.
I heard the WBA's moving to Colombia.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but no.
No, is that true?
No, that's
like family connections or something. I don't know. No.
Well, like, you know, my uncle's from Colombia, but no. I'll talk to him. You know, speak to him quite often. I'll have a chat to Uncle Pablo.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
No, you'd slip that in somewhere.
What?
You like your Uncle Pab.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. just going back to your TV situation. Obviously, from a
When
fight.
you say TV, I see you as the face of the future of media
100%,
reporting. But it's not TV, is it? These days, yes. I've been trading media rights since I was 20.
I know.
Right? We used to have like simple contracts, TV. That was it, and then you'd have a load of rubbish in the contract about what it exactly was. But these days, TV's a dinosaur.
No, all right, okay.
Streaming services, OTT platforms.
No, listen,
That's the future. So I think we should media rights.
100%.
Just sorry to correct you.
Media rights.
Yeah, media rights.
Okay, so you obviously sold the media
It's
rights.
exciting for fans because a DAZN is a tenner a month.
Yeah.
It's not $100 for a fight. It's $10 and you get
In America,
you get a lot
that is.
more.
Obviously, that's fine for them.
So far in America. Yeah.
For us,
So I think that it's logical. They've got to grow and grow. I mean, you see every week. I mean, you talk about they've opened up, I believe, in Spain, Germany, Italy, Japan. So they're growing the whole time. So I'm sure they look at London, they look at going to the UK as well. It's a very interesting platform. And there's a host of these different platforms coming up, which makes more quality boxing available, and it's just great for the sport, but great for the fans as well.
you sold the rights to your last fight night to IFL TV.
Had a big money deal.
Yeah, there's a big money
Big
deal.
money deal. You still owe me a pint.
You still owe me the money.
It's about the same, isn't it?
From a fan perspective, it's
Yeah.
great because you can go online and you watch it and it's
Yeah.
been for free,
Yeah.
your last few fight nights. But revenue for you, not having the TV deal, how much of an impact is that? For
Once
this?
again, I'll go back to earlier in the interview. It's a very large structure behind the World Boxing Super Series. I'm part of the boxing side of it, so I don't even have all the information on that part. But they clearly know what they're doing. If you look a little bit behind what companies are behind it, they know what they're investing in. It is an investment. The shareholders have shown time and time again that they're very much behind this. They're stock market companies. They're experts in their fields, and they know exactly what they're doing. Like I said, just watch that space, but they know what they're doing.
Speculation about you being involved, or not say you, when I say you, I mean the World Boxing Series.
Is
You
this
people-
a boxing question or speculation in you being involved? ...
Hold on, speculation that Sky are going to get involved
Yeah.
with the World Boxing Super Series. Can you make any comment on that?
We've had some good talks. We've had some good talks. We talk to everyone now. We haven't finished anything yet. I think where would be great is to have, of course, one big partner. And that's something that they have a visionary idea on how this is going to be done, and it's amazing. And it will become very. I think we'll announce before the semi-final long term of what's happening. But yeah, of course we speak to Sky, we speak to all the usual suspects on a regular basis.
Is it unlikely that you would work with ITV?
That was a swerve.
ITV again?
With ITV,
because of the deal they've done with PVC now and Al Heyman?
Currently, I don't see that as something that's going to happen now.
Okay. Have you spoke to BT?
Once again, I don't do these discussions.
I'm speaking to you about it because you're in front of me now.
Yeah, no. I've heard they've had discussions with BT. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. You're good. You are. You're good.
I am Chief Boxing Officer.
I know, but you are.
That means I'm not Chief Commercial.
Is that
TV
code for frontman?
media.
No, but I'm asking you because we don't really speak to anyone else at Camosa or anyone else, so everything kind of... No, but we don't have access to that, so everything has to come from you.
They're not the Cosa Nostra.
I don't have access to them.
You're on a need-to-know basis.
You speak to Kalle only.
Well, I'm sure they're making some offers you can't refuse at the moment, yeah.
Okay, so... What are you announcing next then? What's kind of the plan? What are you announcing next?
The viewers can see Sonny taking up a very aggressive position behind the camera here.
It's not aggressive.
What are you announcing next? Well, I think we announced obviously the big one last night with Inouye.
Great cure that is getting Inouye to the UK.
Yeah, I
in
mean, that's
Glasgow.
what it does though, doesn't it? You know, people complain about going to different territories with certain fights. But the
People love that.
The Japanese are probably saying this morning, why is Inouye going to Scotland? You know?
And the Scots are like, let's have it.
Yeah, not just the Scots.
No, everyone.
I think it's a hot ticket now. That's a very hot ticket. But you know, the next announcement will be the Progress fight, and then obviously the Progress Relic, and then Donaire against Tete, which is another cracker.
And that is likely to take place where, Donaire and Tete? What you got?
US.
US.
Yeah, North America.
What, like a random state? You like to go to random states, don't you? It's good. No, but you do.
At least I'm allowed in the US. I wasn't implying nothing else.
Oh, right.
I've seen you in America.
Yeah, I've seen you. Where are you allowed then?
I've got to say, it's funny in boxing, when you talk about the US, I've looked after some fighters. Actually, it was I'll tell the story, he's retired now, but Mikkel Kessler, we flew to the Andre Ward fight in the World Boxing's, the Showtime Super 6 Classic, 10 years ago now. And Mikkel always had a team with him. It was, it was a cook. He took it so professional. Everyone does it now, but he did it back in the day. A physio, cook, personal trainer, the trainer, the assistant, like a big team. So when I arrived in San Francisco where we were staying, I walked in the hotel and Mikkel's sitting there with a bunch of strangers. I just got off the plane, I thought, right, must be my eyes, must be someone else. So I got over to Mikkel, I said, who are these guys? He said, yeah, that's the cook, this is this. I said, but that's not the team. He said, no, they had some passport problems. So basically the whole team didn't have entry to the US, so we had to replace each and every one. So in boxing, it often happens that when you travel to the US, some people get left behind. That's why I wasn't implying you, Cook. I know you regularly travel to the US.
Of course I am. Yeah. I'm allowed everywhere, I think.
Get into with Trump one day.
Tell about Notting Hill. I had to pay my taxes to get here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the guy at the front door. A word on George Groves, obviously a big part of your tournament, and announced his retirement recently. So
I think the right decision. I think George has had a terrific career. I think if you look at it, people forget the roller coasters that it took to get to that night in Sheffield to become world champion, and it was a long road. We were obviously involved from after the second fight of Froch onwards, and it was lots of ups and downs. I remember especially after the Badou Jack fight, and there was lots of reports then about George retiring, and I remember meeting him. We had a Chinese dinner. We had a few Chinese dinners together, and I remember it was just me and him, and we never spoke. It was all the speculation, and I think there was a big interview in the Mail or something, and I just remember we never touched on that question. It was never even a subject between. It was never me. I never asked him, you want to hang up the gloves, because it was all these different stories going around at the time. Once he was on a mission, and he said, look, we've got to rebuild. We've got Shane on board. A couple of other trainers before that, but the decision with Shane was made, and then we took 3 fights to build it up. I think the matches were the perfect ones to introduce. I remember the first press conference for that first tune-up fight, which was at the Copper Box, and people saying, so what's the route back? I said, look, you've got to let them get a chance to work together again, to start work together, and they formed very well. I think it was the right decision to take those 3 fights to form the team, and for Shane to get real insight into George. And then, people, Shudanov was a tough opponent, and people forget that at the time. I remember in the first or second round, George really caught one, and you could just see the determination in his face, the way he went through him. I mean, I think he landed 20-25 punches to stop him. It was, the guy didn't want to go down, George was a massive puncher, and then the way rolled through him that night, and it was just great to see. It was, and I remember the press conference after was a very emotional moment, and you know, a great career. But for me, when you look back at a career, you say, okay, he's had so many defences, he's done this. And, you know, Carl Froch's case, he boxed in front of 80,000 people at Wembley. Sorry, Carl. But you know, everyone has those moments. So define his grit and determination. The man who didn't give up and reached his goal. That's the way I'd summarise it.
Definitely a great career, and I think the kind of tributes that are being paid to George since he announced his retirement is kind of testament to that. And,
tell me something. Name me a fight where George was in which was boring.
No.
There wasn't even like sometimes he made tougher work out of opponents than he should have, very clearly, you know. And you know, I remember the first time I saw George. I've forgotten the opponent now. Sorry, I've forgotten. But he was on he went down. It was on a David Hay undercard. When we were sitting there, I thought, well, he's not all that he's cracked up to be, this guy, because everyone was telling him about George Groves. And then he got up, got off the canvas, shook himself off, and then stopped the fight. It's against a Scotsman. I've forgotten his name now, but he was also a decent fighter. And they had a great fight. It was on I think it was on the Hay Harrison undercard. It was definitely the fight of the night.
Kenny Anderson,
that's it, yeah.
Kenny Anderson, yeah.
That was a great fight. And that was the night I saw George the first time. I was like, yeah, this guy's going to go places, and he's going to entertain people. You know, yeah, George, we went down occasionally, but he shook himself off, and you know, in the end, that summarised his career.
Just coming on to next week's fight, obviously, someone you've worked with in the tournament as well, GROVES.
Yep.
Taking on James DeGale at the O2 next week.
Yeah. Good luck to them both.
What's your thoughts? Who wins?
I'm actually hoping to go to that fight. I don't go to many fights, but I'm going to probably.
Do you want me to get you a ticket?
I'd love to get a ticket.
You love a ticket, don't you?
Yeah, I love a ticket.
Yeah, I'll get you a ticket.
You get me a ticket, and I'll get you a ticket.
I'll get you a ticket.
We'll do that.
We'll have a ticket night.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have a big night on the tickets. Let's analyse that fight. So you've got two guys. One who's proven himself at every level, from being Olympic champion to European champ, two-time world champ, but it's clearly James hasn't been at his best the last few fights. I think he admitted that himself, just to look back at it. Then you've got Eubank, who clearly has the skills. You know, I've seen that firsthand. You know, he's very, very skillful fighter, very determined. In my opinion, and I told him this after the Groves fight, I just think that Senior does great work for him as well, and people forget that. He's a very dedicated, not only dedicated fighter, but he's a role model there, and he does very good things. I know sometimes that people criticise him, but he does a lot of good things. I just think on the boxing side, like, I'm not sure what the training setup is. What's the training setup now?
No, he's just
talking about a new trainer.
Yeah, he's announced his full-time trainer is Nate Vasquez, who he met in Las Vegas when he was training out there. And
I meet other things in Las Vegas, but you met a trainer.
He met a trainer.
We met the trainer in the right place.
Worked with him by all accounts for the last 6 months, and
yeah, I mean, I can't say that I know Nate Vasquez too well, but anything that gives him that extra bit in the corner, because when fights are going wrong for you, it doesn't matter if you're Superman, King Kong, or the Hulk rolled into one. You need someone in the corner. He needed someone in Manchester when he got that cut early, when things weren't going his way, and maybe someone said, well, hold on, he's doing this. So, you know, you see a fight differently when you're in a corner or you're in the ring. I can hear Senior already saying, you haven't stood in the ring yourself. I'm not going to do an Eddie Heard impression of him. I'm terrible at impressions, but I can see Senior saying that, but you know, the Warriors code and all this, and he's totally right. I've certainly not been in a ring, at least at his level. I'm more of a pavement warrior, but he is absolutely spot on. He sees things from the fighter's eyes. Now, I've been around enough fights to see fights turn on trainers, good trainers' advice. A trainer sees a fight and a totally different angle. You know, he sees what's going wrong. You know, he doesn't see it from inside, he sees it from outside. And those adjustments were not made in Manchester. I'm not saying he would have beaten George Groves, it's just he would have changed something. He didn't change anything from round 1 to 12. And he got the cut, and believe me, there was definitely panic there. And there was no one else put him down in the corner and say, right, don't worry, this is what you've got to change. It all will be good. You know, you've got to somehow get into the fighter's mind then. You know, and a trainer's job is invaluable. That's why, you know, most trainers take 10, 15%, you know. It's worth it. It's worth it. A cut man is worth it, whatever they charge, because those are at that level. You know, you need everything to help you. To say I don't need a trainer is rubbish, and Ronnie's great as well. But Ronnie's very close with seniors. So I think it's difficult for him really to reach him. So I think to take an individual trainer, a separate trainer, is we'll see. You know, we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens now. For me, I'm not going to sit on the fence, but I think that you have to, both are unknowns. We don't know really. People say DeGale shot. But DeGale's got a hell of a lot of pedigree. So he's prepared himself well. He's training up in Stonebridge Gym, I know, which is a gym that we work together with. It's a great gym. I know he's been putting on a lot of hours and he's looking sensational. And I'm sure that Eubank, who's one thing about him, he works like crazy. It's just a question, are you working in the right direction? And those questions will be answered. That's why I find that fight fascinating. I also think the Joe Joyce fight's a good one as well.
Stavern, yeah.
It's a good fight. It's a good test. Staverne's a lump.
Next weekend at the O2. So you did sit on the fence, you didn't really call the winner.
Next weekend at the O2.
You like that voice?
Tickets available under www.o2.com. Crack me up.
You didn't even you never answered the question though. Who's going to win? You went, I'm not going to sit on the fence, and then you didn't answer it.
Just because I don't know anything about the trainer, I think DeGale nicks it. But I don't know anything about Nate Vasquez, so I can't really look. I just know, I know my brother is up there at Stonebridge a lot, and I know that DeGale looks in very, very good shape. And for me, it could be an amazing fight. That's what I said. I'm interested to see that one.
It's completely unrelated to do with anything to do with you, but I'd like to always get your opinion on matters. We talk about Brexit. Let's not go there. The WBC.
I say vote again.
Yeah.
Vote again.
Do it again.
Vote again. That's Brexit done. Vote again.
Okay, that's that one over with. WBC ordered Dylan White and Dominic Brazil yesterday with the winner to be mandatory for the winner of Fury and Wilder. So in Dylan White's view and perspective, the path is a little clearer.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed as
Why?
a fan. I would have loved to see White Povetkin. I think White seemed to want it, Povetkin wanted it. I think it's a better fight.
But for his career, the Brazil fight makes more sense.
I think the WBC is a sanctioning body that would get that fight. White Povetkin, you would get that sanction for something nice as well. You know, I don't think first and foremost is the mandatory situation is a complicated one at heavyweight, and I think I can't understand Brazil's fought his way into a mandatory elimination shot. So no disrespect meant there. It's just from styles I would love to have seen Povetkin White. I think it's a cracking fight, absolutely cracking fight. Brazil, what I've seen, we all saw the Joshua fight and haven't seen much else from him, and that for me was a letdown. But at the end, if that's announced, then White's got to take that fight, and I think White wins it. Wins it quite comfortably.
I'm just going to read you something.
Oh, reading as well.
Reading. Richard Schaefer has told ESPN.
Yeah.
that World Boxing Super Series are planning Danair and Teti and PROGRAIS and Relic semi-final doubleheader on April 27th. That's what Richard Schaefer has told ESPN, what I'm reading. So
sounds like very accurate information.
Okay, well he said it.
I think one of the biggest hold-ups at the moment, and this is the most unbelievable thing, but to find a venue for this big night is it's horrendous. We were looking at Friday nights last night, so like I said, this week hopefully. But yeah, there's a very good chance of some big doubleheader.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then I want to say, no, don't be surprised if the cruiserweight ends up as a doubleheader as well, with Tabiti Dorticos, which is, we saw the Glavatsky Breeders press conference earlier this week. Did you see that one, Koo? You read a lot of things. I was just checking if you saw Breeders Glavatsky. It was a great fight as well. Did you see the way he turned up at the press conference?
No, I haven't. I heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
He turned up in full policeman's outfit. Walked up, I was getting nicked. It's sensational.
What have you been doing?
You know, false accusations.
What's a pavement warrior?
Pavement warrior. Did I say that?
You refer to yourself as a pavement warrior.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Was that a joke?
Yeah, it was a joke.
Is that in your
in my
ultra days?
In my ultra
days.
Tottenham youth days. No. That's just.
Oh, you're obviously going to Tottenham tonight.
Yeah, come soon.
But yeah, good luck with that. By the way.
Yeah.
No, good luck.
Sitting nicely behind the goal. Still, they've never ever taken a box or anything. I still like to do it the old way.
There is a massive difference, I think, atmosphere-wise.
Just if I'm going to box, it's just like sitting with a bunch of suits, don't really give a monkeys, and it's like.
Don't get me wrong.
If I had one of those shiny new boxes at New Stadium, which are tempting, and you had it with just your mates, but it's always in a box, you all share it with like strangers, and all, it's just weird. I just don't know. It's like the atmosphere I go to football, not just, but mainly also to be part of a club, to be part of an atmosphere. I've been going to Tottenham since I'm 10.
You've had the same Stone Island jacket since you were 10 and all, haven't you? How many have you got?
I've got a lot. I do like my Stone Island.
You do?
I had a day off today though. Stone Island on today.
Gone cash.
Gone cash today.
What's your plans for the rest of the day, or can't you divulge that information?
I'm having I'm going to get my hair done, get the nails done, and
your nails done?
Down the lane. No, fine them up, it's just an expression, but no, I've got a lot of work to do, believe it or not, Google. I've had my workout, just having my coffee now.
Do you take steroids?
What do you do?
Do you take steroids?
Do I take steroids?
Yeah.
For what?
No, when you train,
no,
you're not an athlete, so you're not being drug tested or anything, but you're on the roids. No,
I'm not on the roids, no.
That was another rumour.
Because I've got
lumped up.
guns.
You're lumped up. No, I'm only joking.
No, lots of protein shakes.
What does KALLE SAUERLAND do tomorrow night? That's what I want to know. That's what everyone wants to know.
What, when Arsenal playing the Europa?
Oh, dumb.
What's tomorrow night?
No. Tomorrow night?
What's tomorrow night? Is my missus saying?
What?
Valentine's Day.
Your missus is missing, say.
I've got a cracking one. I've got a cracking one. So I got this one.
I think I know already what you're going to pull out.
Did you see the one?
The £995.
Yeah, no. There's this one. Valentine's special only. £995. We arrest you in front of your wife on the 13th and release you on the 15th. That sounds like a blinder. Yeah. I'm actually working tomorrow. So.
Are you not taking out?
Yeah.
No. Lady? No.
No lady's been taken out tomorrow. No, I don't know.
Don't you do all that? Do you send flowers?
Yank rubbish, innit?
Do you send flowers?
Do I send flowers? No.
Card?
To my mum? Yeah, send my mum flowers.
No, you're a special lady in your life.
Yeah, my mum. No, joking aside, I think Valentine's very nice and cute and all that. Make your own Valentine's Day. Pick your day and do it. You get roses for half the price.
It is such an overhyped day.
No, it's every year. It's like, but Halloween now. When I was growing up, Halloween meant nothing. It was we used to run around and knock on doors and we do it like a week earlier when it fitted. And go, Nick, you get some money out of people. It's like trick or treat.
Some money out of people.
We used to turn up with some crap mask and say, trick or treat. And no one had, if you did it a week early, no one had sweets, so they all gave you £1. So you go door to door and do £1 a door. You have to get the right areas though, you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise you've got a baseball bat.
All right, so you're not really a Valentine's-y kind of guy.
No, I'm a romantic fella.
But you don't need one day of the year to show that.
Americans to tell me what day I need to be romantic on.
Fair enough. It's a great line, that is.
I'm just telling you the way it is.
It's a great line.
Yeah. You doing roses for someone?
I've already done them.
You've already done them. Did you buy them before? Did you buy them at Valentine's prices, like stocks and shares? You can get them buy the roses at the right time.
I don't buy them on the 15th. Oh babe, your flowers are coming in the morning, babe. No, that was a great line.
Yeah.
You're all about good lines, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm a one-liner.
One-liner.
One-line man.
Lining. Kalle, listen, thank you very much for your time today. Have you got anything else you'd like to add, get off your chest, rant about, anyone you don't like in boxing you want to slag off? You can't do it on here, but...
Just about to say, no, I love you all, you know. Love and peace to the boxing world.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Over and out.
Kugan Cassius, IFL TV, the legend, Don
It's been
Sauerland.
emotional.
Don Sauerland. You can't refuse a request on this day.
Thank you, Kugan. Well, see, Valentine's started early.
There we go. Thank you very much.
Take care, Kugan. Love you.